Welcome to the online worship service of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We call ourselves ERUUF. I'm Reverend Deborah Cayer. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. This morning's service is in honor of Earth Day, and members of our Earth Justice team, ministry team, have planned and created and are leading this service today. They are Betsy Bickle, Leela Rosa, Jean Rytok, Chris Macon, and Jane Slentz Kessler. Music today is by Jewel Song, Chris Macon, and Kate Lewis on piano. If you're visiting with us for the first time, the second time, we invite you to look into the chat box along on the side of your screen at this time. You'll see a link that will take you to a place where you can sign up to get information about who we are and what's going on around here. We won't bug you, but we will send you information if you ask. At noon today, we are planning the Inquirer's class. Today's class is Q&A with a minister, which would be me. It's one of my favorite things to do. These classes are specifically designed for visitors and for people who are considering membership, but anybody can come. If you're a member and you just want to see what we're doing, come on to the class. All that we ask is that you do sign up in advance. So for any of these classes in the series, register via the website or through the link in eNews. And we invite everyone to virtual coffee hour after the service today. There will be a link with information at the end of this service, and that'll tell you how to get there. People who have done this in the past have said how much fun it is. They get to meet new people. They get to bump into people that they know that they just haven't seen in a while. And so check it out. It's fun. As always, we ask for your patience and your good humor as we work out any technical challenges that we might encounter. We're new at this. The learning curve has been steep. We have had a blast. We have really loved this, and we appreciate your appreciation. Thank you for all your support and encouragement. We've really appreciated that. These services will continue online in the weeks ahead for as long as we're under stay-at-home orders. And just check out our website or check out eNews for any updates on that weekly. I think that's about it. Oh, on May 2nd, Reverend Jacqueline Brett is leading Spiritual Practices. It's a class that has been really enjoyed by many people. Sign up online for that, and we'll be able to send you a link to the address for how to get to that class online. So all of these things can be found also in our eNews and on our web calendar. And yeah, get connected. I'm going to just take a breath. Let's continue our service this morning with Prelude.
Our opening words today are by Starhawk from the Cayer chant, which honors the wisdom journey of the goddess Persephone, queen of the underworld, whose name means bringer of destruction. Everything lost is found again in a new form, in a new way. Everything hurt is healed again in a new time, in a new day. Change is, touch is, touch is, change is. Change us, touch us, touch us, change us.
We light our chalice this Sunday in honor of Earth Day, as together we grieve our losses, dream the future, and envision together new ways to live upon the earth.
We're going to start with the calling of the four directions. So if you would rise in body or spirit, preferably body, because there are movements to this. I'll say a line and you can repeat it after me with the movement. And when it gets to the part about gathering the gifts of your unique self, you get to move however you want. This is oral tradition, so you really can't mess it up. We'll start. I'm starting facing the north, and with the left hand to the heart. I open my heart. I open my heart. I create my world. I create my world. I gather the earth's energies into my heart. I gather the earth's energies into my heart and release them to the sky. And release them to the sky. I gather the sky's energies into my heart. I gather the sky's energies into my heart and ground them in the earth. And ground them in the earth. I stand in balance. I stand in balance. I gather the gifts that make me unique. I gather the gifts that make me unique. And I say, powers of the East, powers of the East, I give you the gifts of my mind. I give you the gifts of my mind, and I accept your gifts, and I accept your gifts. Powers of the South, powers of the South, I give you the gifts of my spirit. I give you the gifts of my spirit, and I accept your gifts, and I accept your gifts. Powers of the West, powers of the West, I give you the gifts of my heart. I give you the gifts of my heart, and I accept your gifts, and I accept your gifts. Powers of the North, powers of the North, I give you the gifts of my body. I give you the gifts of my body, and I accept your gifts, and I accept your gifts. And so it is. Thank you.
We are living 'neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In you We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me band together to be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
The seventh principle reminds us that all of creation is a vast web of life. We know we are not the creators of the web, and we certainly do not understand its workings because, as brutal and as terrifying as coronavirus is, it too is part of this same web, just like we are. Could this virus be part of a larger consciousness that knows we as humans are on a path toward planetary and self-destruction? Perhaps it is an intervention on behalf of all life in general and of the life of humankind in particular. What has this virus been sent to teach us? What might we learn? The following poem is one person's thoughts. This reading is from a piece called An Imagined Letter from COVID-19 by Kristen Flintz. An excerpt. Stop. Just stop. It is no longer a request. It is a mandate. We will help you. We will bring the supersonic high-speed merry-go-round to a halt. We will stop the frenetic, furied rush of illusions and, quote, obligations that keep you from hearing our single and shared beating heart, the way we breathe together in unison. We will interrupt this broadcast, the endless, cacophonous broadcast of divisions and distractions, to bring you this long breaking news. We are not well. None of us. All of us are suffering. Last year, the firestorms that scorched the lungs of the earth did not give you pause, nor the typhoons in Africa and China, nor the fevered climates in Japan and India. You have not been listening. We will help you. We will bring the firestorms and fever to your body. We will bring the burning, searing, and flooding to your lungs, that you might hear, we are not well. Despite what you might think or feel, we are not the enemy. We are messenger. We are ally. We are a balancing force. We are asking you to stop, to be still, to listen, to look up into the sky streaked with fewer planes and see it. How much do you need it to be healthy so that you may also be healthy? To look at a tree and see it. How does its health contribute to the health of the sky, to the air you need to be healthy? To visit a river and see it. How much do you need it to be healthy? How does its health contribute to the health of the tree, who contributes to the health of the sky, so that you may also be healthy? Many are afraid now. Do not demonize your fear, and also do not let it rule you. Instead, let it speak to you. In your stillness, listen for its wisdom. Stop. Just stop. Be still. Listen. Ask us what we might teach you about illness and healing, about what might be required so that all may be well. We will help you if you listen.
Hi, I'm Julia Tyler, the Director of Religious Education here at this fellowship. I love Earth Day. It's one of my favorite holidays. And for Earth Day this year, I read this book by Greta Thunberg, who you just saw. She wrote, "No one is too small to make a difference." And that's her right there. This year's Earth Day is a little strange because everyone is staying home to protect each other from getting sick this year. The sickness is very bad, but there are some surprising good things that are happening too. We call it the surprising good things silver linings. An example of a silver lining right now is that our air is very clean because people are driving and flying a lot less. Another example is that sea turtles, which are an endangered species, are doing really well because they were able to get from where they hatch on the shore to the ocean this year because there wasn't a lot of predators or pollution. So we have 60 million more sea turtles off the India coastline this year. So it seems like the Earth is doing a lot better and all the animals when we just stay home. Do you think we should just stay home forever? No, of course not. We are part of the interconnected web of life too. We just have to do a much, much better job of taking care of the Earth when all of this passes. And we can do it. You already know a bunch of the things that we talk about all the time that we can do. The 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle. There's actually 2 more. There's rot, like compost. And refuse is a super hard one to do. Refuse means not getting something. And that's actually the best one for our planet. But if you can decide you're going to fix an old thing instead of getting a new thing, or you decide to play a game instead of buying a thing, this is a very hard one to do, but it's actually the best one for our planet. And adults, this could be even harder for you than for our children and youth. Imagine giving up a plane ride to somewhere you wanted to go. It's very difficult. This is sacrifice. This is a hard thing. But this is something we can really do. This is part of our 7th principle. It's something we can do to take care of our Earth. So I want you to think about what you can do, you personally are willing to do, to take care of our Earth starting today and moving forward. And you can write that in the comment section of your computer screen or the chat box. And that's a way that we can all inspire each other and get support and offer support in doing this hard thing of taking care of our planet, doing things that we can do to take care of our planet. And you can take some time there to think about what it is you're willing to commit to doing starting on this Earth Day.
This past Wednesday was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and I'm happy to report that skies are clearing all over the globe, with a 30% reduction in air pollution in some cities. People in Mexico City can see their iconic volcano for the first time in years. Animals are returning to common spaces. In Lima, Peru, hundreds of different songbirds are filling the airwaves. Lions are cruising golf courses in Kenya, and wild pigs have taken over the business district of Haifa, Israel. But none of this is due to our action for the planet. Rather, it is our inaction due to the pandemic that has brought these changes. When we lessen our impact on the planet, there's more room for other species and ecosystems to thrive. This is one lesson we must learn from this time and carry forward. Meanwhile, the effects of intentional governmental action on the environment before and during this shutdown have taken us backwards in our efforts to clean up our mess. This administration has gutted over 90 environmental rules and regulations since taking office, including undercutting protections for clean air and water, rolling back emission standards, and suspending enforcement of EPA rules and regulations. This, in addition to the constant climate denial and pro-fossil fuel policies. Right now, during a glut of oil on the market, pipeline construction has been labeled essential, and workers and communities are being endangered for oil profits. In many states, pipeline protests are now illegal. So the other lesson we must learn is that government policies matter, and if we're to have a livable planet in the not very distant future, we must see that our government works for rather than against us. I wrote this next song 12 years ago, and the situation is worse now than it was then. We have squandered 50 years with inaction on climate change. What we now know is that we can move quickly and decisively against a threat. We can make sacrifices. We can invent new ways of doing things, just like this service. Now we must apply these resources to the biggest threat we face. It's not as visible or as quick a killer as COVID-19, but environmental destruction kills thousands every day. 25,000 every day through lack of access to clean water. 1 in 8 Americans from cancer, thousands from asthma and other health problems. Then there are the wars over diminishing resources and the refugees from droughts and floods and fires. Unlike this pandemic, environmental destruction is an extinction-level threat. If we continue business as usual, there will not be a world for our children. So now we get to choose to do things differently. I wonder if we're up to the task.
As I wander on this shoreline, over coral rocks and silky sand, I envision ancient humans, one with nature, part of sea and land. As I step carefully past
Good morning. My name is Jane Slentz-Kessler. I'm a senior in high school and a member of the Earth Justice team here at ERUUF. So on this Earth Day service, I want to talk a little bit about somebody who's been a role model to me and is also a teacher to the entire world. Her name is Wangari Maathai. She was born in Kenya in 1940 and went to school at age 8, which is unfortunately uncommon for girls at that time. She was a hardworking student and pursued her studies in the United States, earning her bachelor's and master's degree, then returned to Kenya to become the first woman to receive a PhD in East Africa. As a social, environmental, and political activist, she devoted her life to service. At times, she was beaten and arrested for her political activism, exposing the government's involvement in the nation's environmental degradation. In 1977, she launched the Green Belt movement, planting trees and empowering women across Kenya. She led protests against the government, won a seat in the country's parliament, and was appointed Assistant Minister of Environment, Natural Resources, and Wildlife. She had many setbacks and failures, but, as she wrote in her memoir, what people see as fearlessness is really persistence. She went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004 for her contribution to sustainable development, democracy, and peace. In one interview, she said, "The one superpower we have is to engage the rest of the world, allow the rest of the world to speak, listen to the rest of the world, and provide the leadership that can push us toward a more stable world. Remember, nobody gets the Nobel Peace Prize because peace has been achieved through their activities. People get the Nobel Peace Prize because they are working toward a more peaceful world." Having just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, I think it's the perfect point for a reflection on this idea of working toward a more peaceful, sustainable world. It's easy for Earth Justice to become a discussion of doom and gloom and everything bad and fear. Everything's based in fear. What's going to happen? While it's true that a wake-up call is needed, sort of wake-up call to make people realize what reality we could be looking at if we don't act now, I think it's more important now more than ever to plant our feet in goodness, in belief, and in love. We fight for the Earth because we love something, anything or anyone. There is no existence on this Earth without connection to the planet that allows us to exist. I, for example, love creeks. I love the moving water and all of the little life that you can find within it. I love cirrus clouds in a blue sky. I love the Rocky Mountains. I love sunsets. I love meteor showers. I love the Aegean Sea. I love my friends in Madagascar. I fight for the Earth because I fight for them. They're already threatened by food shortage, and their houses will be underwater in 20 years, if sea levels continue to rise as they are right now. I fight for the Earth because I love the jungles and the animals who need them to survive. I fight for the Earth because I love my friends and family right here. I want us to have a planet to live on in 50 years. I want to ask you, what or who do you love? What or who do you love that is worth fighting for? Your children? Your parents? The tree in your yard you see every morning? The mountains? The Eno River? If nothing else, I think incredible change makers like Wangari Maathai show us the capacity of a single person. She shows us the power of persistence and the power of love, but more than that, the power of us. As she said, the one superpower we have is to engage the rest of the world. If just one person was able to create such change, such good, imagine what we could do together. Imagine what good we can bring, fueled by those places and people that we love, that mean the world to us, for whom we are ready and willing to fight. As the Earth is catching its breath, and as we emerge from this horrible situation, we will be stronger than ever, ready to love the world and all of its forests, oceans, animals, and people like never before.
Good morning. My name is Jean Reitock, and I've been a member of this fellowship since 2015. And I'm also very active with Citizens Climate Lobby, and I'm working hard to get federal legislation to address climate change. It seems to me that people these days need something practical. And we're going through this coronavirus situation. Oh gosh, some of us are just overwhelmed with responsibilities, with worries, with work schedules, with risks. And others of us have extra time on our hands and are even bored. It's a time when relationships have new strains, and when we're off balance, we're off emotionally, our familiar ways are just not working very well right now. And we're looking forward to having all this be over. But supposing it's an opportunity for us to grow our capacity to get along. The world certainly needs more capacity to get along, and many households need more capacity to get along as we're cooped up together. I'm a practical person, and I want to leave you with something you can use that empowers your way through life. It's a simple but powerful practice. It's been proven to remove the barriers to cooperation, and it makes working together easier. It's called the golden diamond. When you see a person through the lens of the golden diamond, it transforms how you think about them. It can be used with any person, but it's particularly useful for people who are triggering a negative reaction in you. It starts with a piece of paper like this, where you, where am I in my notes here? You put their name at the top, and you think of this page as having 3 columns. In the leftmost column, you list all the things this person is for, what they support, what they espouse, what they like, just from what you know. It doesn't have to be perfect. Here's an example of my friend that I'll call Richard. And here's what I see that he is for. Then in the rightmost column, you list what they are against, what they dislike, what they argue against, and what they seek to avoid. As you can see, my friend has Parkinson's disease, and those are the things he's against these days. You do your best to bring no judgment to these things. They're just a list as if they were simple facts. It's easy to slip into making these things a person's strengths and weaknesses, but no, that's not what it's about. It's about what they're for and what they're against. Then in the middle column, at the bottom, you list the roles this person is in now or has been in the past, such as, like a parent, a car salesman. My friend is an engineer. He's been handy around the house. He's a tender-hearted man, a successful career person, and even a wild game hunter. 4 or 5 roles are sufficient. Once you've done this, you step back and ask yourself, who is this person trying to be in their best self? You might have to mull this over and give it some time to come to you. What is their highest self seeking to be? This is their golden diamond. And once it comes to you, or once you've invented something that fits, you write that in the center of the page, under their name. So for my friend Richard, I see his best self as trying to be a smart fighter, courageous and warm. If you think of this person as their golden diamond and relate to them accordingly, you'll have the basis to work with them from respect and appreciation, and you'll get much better results. I use this with my member of Congress. I thought our values were miles apart. I used the golden diamond from information on his website, and to my surprise, I saw that his highest self was seeking to be the champion of the hardworking local people. I was surprised. I found I could actually admire him from this. And I found I could work with him much more easily going forward. And that also that he deserved my respect. Yeah, I want the hardworking local people to have a champion. Yeah. So when you see a person through the lens of their golden diamond, it transforms how you think about them and how you relate to them. So try it. Thanks.
With our loving choices and actions together, we can create the sustainable world that we do believe is possible. Many of us have chosen to come together to support and make ERUUF sustainable as well. All of us who are members and friends of this beloved community support it in so many ways, including financially. There is a box in the chat box right now. A link in the chat box. Click on that if you would like to make a financial contribution to the fellowship now. I'd like to remind you also, if you are facing financial difficulty right now, as so many people are, you are not alone. And that ERUUF has a discretionary fund, and any of the ministers would be so happy to talk with you, to help think with you about how we could help you bridge some of the gaps that you might be facing right now. This community wants to be here for its members and friends. Give us a call if you're in need. On the other hand, if you are finding yourself financially secure, your continued giving at this time would be very impactful, very positive. And so if you are able to continue your pledge, we want to invite you to please take a look and make sure that you have been, that's up to date. And if it's not, please, your gift would be so welcome at this time. Thank you. Like so many others, ERUUF's income has been affected by this pandemic. Our income in March, and it looks like in April, will be down about 40%. And so that's why I'm asking and inviting you to please think about what you can do in support of the fellowship right now. And finally, all of us can think about next year and the coming year. Thank you if you've already made a pledge of support. We appreciate that very much. If you have not yet done so, now is the time to go online and go to the giving page and just let us know what it is that you plan to do for a pledge for the coming year. It's an estimate. If you need to revise it, that's okay. That's possible in the coming year. We can revise that. You can revise that, no problem. But our members' generous support accounts for 90% of our budget in a normal year. It may be 95% in the coming year. If you can let us know now, if everyone lets us know now what they intend to do for next year, we'll be able to build a realistic budget for the coming year. We're going to get through this together. Thank you for your support. The next song, Beautiful Day, celebrates where we are now as a larger global world community, and it helps draw us forward toward the world that we envision, that we believe is sustainable and possible.
Here on this beautiful day, we are gathered to say, we will work, we will play, we will dance, we will pray for the healing of this wondrous and enchanting planet. From the recklessness, the carelessness, the damage from our fearful and foolish relationship to our Creator, Sustainer, forgive us. We're starting to live so that all of life has space to thrive and be choosing to believe in the beauty around us and in us. We see our community blossoming, healing us, pursuing beauty, lead the way to a bright and last day when faith and the world are kin and ourselves are whole again.
For our closing congregational song, we'll thank and honor the four directions: wind for east and the element of air, fire for the direction of south, water for west, and earth for north. Jewel Song sings it through once, then you are invited to sing along with us on the repeat.
Remember the way of the wind and breathe and blow. Remember the way of the fire and sparkle and glitter and glow. Remember the way of the water and ebb and flow. Remember the way of the earth and grow. Remember the way of the wind and breathe and blow. Remember the way of the fire and sparkle and glitter and glow. Remember the way of the water and ebb and flow. Remember the way of the earth and grow. Remember, 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 remember.
Our closing words come from a blog by Kitty O'Meara entitled "In the Time of Pandemic." And the people stayed home, and they read books, and listened, and rested, and exercised, and made art, and played games, and learned new ways of being, and were still. And they listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows. And the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed, and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses, and made new choices, and dreamed new images, and created new ways to live. And they healed the earth fully as they had been healed.